Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show, where you, the Aquarius, go to be in the know on your Aquatic Morning Show. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show. We will be having David join us momentarily. In about 15 minutes. He's running a little bit behind. Something came up, which is perfectly fine because we all have a life. And that's okay, because I told him we could go ahead and say good morning to everybody. And that would be about the same time frame. So that's what we're going to do. And then David will join us from Aquatic Arts. And then we'll get into everything. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show. All right. We have Monster Fish Gal. Miss Lori I'm sorry. It jumped on me. I'm so sorry. Dennis, Bigfoot Fish Tanks was in here first. Then Miss Lori, Monster Fish Gal, Miss Lady Warship. Good morning. Welcome. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. Miss Lori, throwing all of those links out. You are the best. Thank you so much. Mark Sterlson, good morning. Good to see you. Atomic Injections, 47. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. My Fish Tanks and Aquatics. Scotty Aquati. Greg 3G. Good morning, Greg. David, I can't text you back because I've used my phone right now as my camera. But just come in when you're ready. Yellowstone Aquatics, good morning. Jay Oliver, good to see you. You're here early. The Nano Aquarium guy, good morning. New Local Austin, good morning. Kara C, good morning. I'm still waiting on them pictures from Facebook. No. Let's see. It's almost like old times, the Aquatic Morning Show in the morning every weekday. I know, right? It's a Christmas miracle. Well, I'm out of school, and we don't go back until the 9th. Next week is going to be a little funny because I'm going to Houston again with my sister for 3 days, and that'll be the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I think that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'm going to try and stream before we leave on Tuesday, and then stream from the hotel before I leave and we come back on Thursday. But that's kind of all still up in the air. I've got to talk to my sister today about the itinerary and all of her appointments that she's got. So, yeah, next week is going to be a little different, but at least I'll still be here. It won't be like I'm back in school yet. So, Whip's World, thank you so much. And, hey, Whip, you've got to dance, man. You left a $3 super sticker at the end of the show yesterday, and I actually remembered. All right. Thank you yesterday for that very much, Whip. All right. Let's get right back to where I left off. And it jumped to the bottom. So, dadgummit. Let me see if I can scroll up enough to get back to where I was. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, right there. All right. Dennis Christensen, good morning. And there's Jay Oliver again. It's good to see you, Jay Oliver. We don't get to see you much in the beginning of the streams. Jenna P, good morning. I'm waiting for you to be able to come up live and show us your fish room again, Jay Oliver, one day. Chris Aquazone, good morning. Brooklyn Bell lurking while trying to place an order for feeder insects, bioactive insects. That's right. Chat is minimized. Why I do that? Because I am just on the phone. I hate making decisions like this. LOL. Oh my gosh, girl. Get you some critters. Get you some bugs. I got some bugs in my paludarium. Well, I'm supposed to anyway, if they didn't drown. Okay, I made it to the bottom. Silver Creek, good morning. Welcome. I think I have said good morning to everybody. I am going to play the members song that I have, giving appreciation to the members that we have. There are still 15. I'm working on it, y'all. I am working on it. 15 of you guys that were gifted memberships that are not on here yet, but I am working on them while I text David back and let him know, yeah, he can come in anytime he's ready. So you guys hold on just a moment for me. And, well, never mind. Here he is. He's making his way in.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, David. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I have gotten through chat and told everybody good morning, except for Papa Shrimp and Mississippi Hippie and Elaine Luckhart, who just came in. We have got a good mid people, 32 people, 33 people here already, which is just the beginning. It keeps going up from here.
Awesome.
All right. All right, you guys. David is, what is your name in Aquatic Arts? What is your
I'm the general manager for Aquatic Arts.
General manager for Aquatic Arts. And you guys know Aquatic Arts. We've talked about them before. And it's the store that Alex, of course, Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, is always talking about. So Aquatic Arts is mostly not new to most of us, but they are getting and bringing in some really cool things and doing some new things this year. And we're going to kind of get into some of it. We're going to touch base on some things. That way later we can come in and really dive into them. So I guess, David, let's start how you became part of Aquatic Arts first.
Okay. Well, I've been working in the pet industry for a little over 11 years now. Different capacities, mostly in wholesale and import, export, and distribution of pretty much all fish from fresh to salt. I also managed and ran warehouses for animals and reptiles and birds that you see in the pet trade. And so I met, or I was familiar with Aquatic Arts back in 2013 when then a small company contacted us looking to see if there's a way that they can, use this as a supplier, which back then, 2013, it was kind of like still a new feel for the idea that people were going to buy and sell fish on the internet.
Yeah.
So we decided just to see how it was as a company and gave it a shot, and been working with this group since 2013, 2014, and ever since, built a really good friendship, and found an opportunity for me to move from California and join the team here in Indianapolis.
Sweet. So that puts you there on 10 years as of like January.
Well, it'd be 10 years in the industry. I actually just joined the organization this past April.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Sometimes I wish that, I've worked in a pet store as well, but sometimes I wish that I could be just in the fish store, but we're going to leave that to you.
Well, personally, my whole journey into coming into finding a role like this as a general manager at Aquatic Arts started when I was a child, and my fascination was visiting pet stores and fish stores. Like, you couldn't pass one on the street without me, tapping my mom's shoulder, telling her to pull over, and I wanted to look at the animals and the fish, and to me it was exciting because I don't know, it triggered something with me to where I felt like, I see these things and I want to take care of them, and I want to know how to take care of them and learn about them so I can make sure that they're happy. And
Yes.
in turn, I got some joy out of it.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, Elaine Lookhart says, I got most of my fish from Aquatic Arts, but they ran out of live bears a lot because they have great fish. That's a good reason then.
We do a lot of live bearers, and actually right now in the building, we are producing or breeding 8 different types of guppies, mostly the standards. And we have, look at my list. We have about like 5 different type of endlers that we're producing here as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
in the coming months on our site, you'll be able to actually purchase these as aquatic art bred guppies sold in trios. So then
Homegrown.
you're gonna have the opportunity to try to produce them yourself.
Awesome. Papa Shrimp says it's a party aquatic art. It's partly aquatic art's fault for my shrimp addiction.
That's it. See, shrimp addiction, and I love that you mentioned that, because the original name of the company was Invert Obsession back in 2013. 2015 is when it became what we know as Aquatic Arts. But from the jump, it's always been about shrimp, neocaradinas.
Which
And
I didn't know that. I assumed it was fish, and then when neocaradinas got popular, then you guys took them in. So I'm backwards.
Well, back in 2013, they were fairly new to the hobby as for import. I was bringing them into, for distribution for, your local LFSs and some of the chains. But even back then, not many people had the foundation or understanding on actually and how to keep these things other than through its life cycle, and they weren't able to actually get them to produce. So
Right.
when you get the cool guys out there, like the people that watch your show and anyone else who's really into the hobby and who's willing to play detective and get into the weeds on how to make it happen, because I've learned with fish people that no is not an answer. If you will, there's a way.
That's
And
right.
people will catch on.
That is
And
my motto. If there's a will, there's a way.
yeah, and even prior to 2013, them somewhat being in the hobby, and even then I was just probably bringing in your what we know now is just wild form neo cherries, and that was a big hit and people liked them. But the cost of entry to play with the shrimp back then was so high that for them to get through to retail, you know, they were going for like $17 to $25 a piece for a cherry red. And you
Wow.
wouldn't think anyone nowadays would look at you cross-eyed if
Right.
you had to pay $17 for a cherry shrimp.
Wow. Not
It
even
was-
one that would win a contest.
And contests were invented in the States. It was real. It's really big in like Japan, Taiwan, but it didn't really get momentum until like 2017, when more people started seeing them on the market and the accessibility was there. And then by then there was a lot more education on it, so people were able to go to your local LFS, gain some knowledge on how to keep these things.
Yeah.
And eventually, as a group collectively, we all taught each other how to breed them.
Right. And that's also if it was a good pet store too, or fish store, if they're doing the right thing and helping educate, and if questions are asked, educate. And you guys did that. Alex is in chat and he says Aquatic Arts started with the owner having a 55-gallon of cherry shrimp and hurt his back working at UPS. And on a whim, he started selling his cherries for $20 a shrimp. $20 a shrimp.
$20 a shrimp, and he was actually producing those. He was breeding them.
That's
So
amazing.
he was one of the guys in the beginning of this who actually saw the opportunity and how these little things were going to become something that people want to actually focus on.
Right.
Back then, people were still into this whole, what was the model? If it's smaller than 20 gallons, it's not worth it.
Yep.
Everyone had a 40 breeder. If 60-gallon is really big, and all my friends and everyone I knew had these monster tanks.
Right.
But
you didn't have a tank unless it was like 120, 150 gallons.
Yeah, because you wanted these big, beautiful displays of
Yeah.
large, colorful schooling fish, or a lot of people are into different type of cichlids. I love
Right.
cichlids, and they get to create this whole underwater environment, which if done right, truly looks like a segment of like coming into a river, or stream, or a lake, and actually getting to enjoy it. And that people started thinking small and realizing that these little shrimp were not easy to manage in such large body of water. And so, the smaller tanks became a thing, and the 10-gallon tank, started becoming more popular again, and all these different versions of glass and the tank. It's really cool, and it is popular. And I'm glad to see that a lot of people are spending more time and energy in focusing on the inhabitant itself, again, to where in the past we were just focusing on this big water column, what we can put in there, and
right. Go nano.
Go nano.
Right. Go nano.
I want to do a water change by lifting my tank to the sink.
Alex says, fun fact, the first batch of cherry neocaridina shrimp entered the U.S. in November of 2003. Wow. That's crazy.
The cherry shrimp, as an import, I was paying close to $3.25 without freight just to bring them into the country. And again, even then, a lot of them didn't
what
have
the shipping was.
A lot cheaper. It was expensive, but it was a lot more affordable than it is now.
Yeah.
But, again, we were bringing them in and having to learn how to house them.
Yeah.
Temporarily before they found their way to their LFSs, and then after to what would be their forever home.
Right. Yeah. He says in 2003 the cherries were what were considered the cull grade. So I guess we brought them in, or y'all brought them in, and then they would work on the breed, and then make them better and better, which is weird because then they went to being the basic one, the basic Neo, and now they're not, worth 50 cents. Well, I take that back. I guess they're worth $5-6 a piece.
They're a great utility, the lower grade, and even, the wild form, they're a great utility. Right. And,
they're not a ghost shrimp.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the tank, they're helping your water column, they're doing their thing by, grazing on that biofilm and all the other algae and things growing on the plant. So I think when people took them from this idea of a utility and started focusing on how beautiful they can be as the standalone or a feature in a tank, that's where I think more people got into it. Because, I mean, you look at the different type of neocaridinas and the colors that we have, if you look at, freshwater fish, the color blue isn't really like blue. When things are called blue, it's like, bluish or has a tint of blue, but nothing that's striking to where you can hold a Crayola to it and say like, yep, that's a blue one. And the same with the yellow and anything, gold, and then, all the different variations of red. It's something that you're not used to seeing in a freshwater water column.
Right. Alex is asking, how were survival rates back in 2010 and earlier versus now?
Now it's easy breezy. Yeah. It's so well that we actually bring in larger shipments so we can quarantine and hold and make sure that everyone is somewhat close to a molt or have completed a molt before we're able to release it for sale.
But you guys aren't really having to import a lot right now, right? Y'all are breeding them in-house and, well, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah. We actually have large colonies of neocaridinas that we've been working on for close to, a year and a half, almost 2 years, of lines that we've actually, collected from local breeders and people here in the States, because, we felt like we as a group have an opportunity to be able to support each other and create that foundation so we can have our own, shrimping industry here without having to rely on the import.
Right. I like that. I like the
Plus,
idea.
a lot of these strains and color variations, I mean, they're not natural. I mean,
Right.
I hate to tell you, but
No, they're not.
bright yellow shrimp will have a
Right.
hard time where he's from reproducing or keeping away from other things.
Yeah, or not getting eaten
Yeah.
right off the bat in the wild. They would stick out like a sore thumb, as we would say. New Local Austin says, David, we had so much fun with you and the guys at Aquashella Dallas.
Yeah.
Almost done with that rack.
Yeah.
What Caradinia do you guys have other than the Tangerine Tigers that you would recommend for a beginner?
Well, I don't normally say Caradina are for a beginner.
Right.
You should have an understanding of your water parameters and how to maintain the water quality that they need. Now it's a lot easier to balance your tank out because there's so many great products out there that will allow you to stabilize or buffer your water.
You pretty much need an RO unit to stabilize and keep Caradinia.
Yes. I mean, that's what I do recommend, but I'm sure everyone who's watching this will be like, I've done it with a hose, and just topped it off. So, I mean, it's in a balanced, at that point, in a balanced aquarium, it makes it a lot easier to have these inhabitants. But generally, I do recommend people do read up and how to properly set up a tank for Caradina before attempting those. But a really good segue into that would be like a Neo, even though the water parameters are slightly different. But as for like husbandry and care, they're pretty similar at that,
Now, David, what about the crystals? Aren't they kind of like the in-between?
About in between, but they are a hardier shrimp. The good thing about crystal shrimp now is a majority of them are being tank bred, if not all of them, even overseas. And the ones that we've produced here the same way. So a lot of the transitional oopsies from going from, import water or even that to being a natural water, we're able to have them a lot hardier so they can tolerate the more of the domestic water parameter.
Alex says the sturdiest Caradinia and are the Tangerine Tigers and the crystals, generally the yellow and black King Kongs, followed by wild types like raccoons or babalti.
Babaltis. Oh, those are really pretty. And I believe we're slated to release our babaltis in April.
Ooh, sweet.
But we've been breeding those for over 2 years.
Now, David, we were talking last night, and I was just super infatuated with how many tanks it takes and how many shrimp you guys have to have before you start releasing them to be sold to the public.
Well, when anyone's trying to go into business into breeding and selling, you always want to be able to have your colony healthy enough to be able to sustain itself, to be able to have the culls for sale. So if you dip into your water column and you remove too many inhabitants, you might throw off the balance of male to female ratio, or just what they felt comfortable as a group to be able to start producing regularly on good numbers on a regular basis, and being able to then take those shrimplets up to a sellable size. So we're able to release them. So I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have bred them and took them to your local LFSs or what I've learned to love are fish swaps. It's a good place to find on the deals on used
Definitely.
equipment. But it's just you just don't want to you just don't want to get too excited too quick. And
right.
Until you're able to replace the shrimp that you let go, you want to hold them back. And we've brought our colonies to the point to where we're actually able to now release them and offer more. We have two different type of colonies that we sell. One is we call locally bred. And those are actually our original colonies that we started with in our 330s. From that, we bred through them and culled out and created the colonies that are in our 180s, which are listed as aquatic art bread, or bred by Aquatic Art is the branding we go with. I wish next time we talk, I'll gladly take us into the warehouse and show you some tanks and how this works.
That will be awesome.
Unfortunately, I think I'm the only person in the building that does not have any fish tanks in their office.
Well,
I have a glass tank, which I look at, and I think everyone, everyone should have an empty glass tank just to look at.
Just to be pretty.
Just to know, because I look at it and I envision, like, if I was to put this tank together, what would I do? What would I need? And how could I get it started? And I mean, it's the imagination. Otherwise, I can go to the warehouse and visit.
Well, you've got umpteen tanks that you could go and, that you mess with and look at on a daily basis. So if you walk in your office, you don't really need one. And then when you're home, you don't really need one because you see them all day long.
Yeah, I go to work. I'm surrounded by fish, and I get my smiles when I go out into the warehouse. And sometimes I'll join the husbandry team in feeding and basic maintenance, just so it's I don't want to lose the idea of getting into this hobby. I do like to get wet, just like everyone else, and and get your hand in the tank and move things around and reap the benefits by once making something come together and balance. You can start seeing your inhabitants happy and just loving life. And to me, that's the joy that I think not only myself but anyone else who keeps fish get these feelings of knowing that I'm doing something better for something other than myself.
Right. And the satisfaction of seeing it get, like with the shrimp, seeing those colonies just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that's cool.
My first colony that I started here, because everyone at Aquatic Arts is encouraged to want to breed something.
Okay.
So that's why everyone will keep a tank around, and we have areas where people are able to start their own projects.
Yeah.
So we can explore. There's a lot of information about everything out there on the internet, and everyone talks and shares these ideas, but there's not enough time for one person to be able to get super excited about CPDs.
Right.
There's not someone out there to get super excited about Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Craze. So by having this diverse group of people who are excited about learning and trying things, we foster that, and we're like, sure, go ahead, grab a tank. If you need any supplies, let us know, and we'll bring them in for you, and let's see what we can do.
Right. Alex says that Alex 15 or Alex 10 if you want to order something from Aquatic Arts. I do not have a code. You guys use Alex. Use Alex's code.
Please use Alex's code. And yes, and I love his videos, and I'm sure you guys have been following him and his Neocaridina project.
Right, but shipping is on hold for another week or so, he says.
Shipping is on hold, and we're actually going to start shipping again Monday. So
Sweet.
If you have orders in the system, you'll be alerted, and we'll let you know when the order goes out. But everything will go out early next week. Otherwise, what weather permits. We just want to make sure that we get it to you as safely as possible.
That's right.
If we don't get the feels as if this is going to be fair for the animal, then we'll wait a couple days until there's a better window for us to get it to you properly.
That's right. And if they are true fish and have great husbandry skills, then they should understand.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want to be in the box at 15 degrees.
Right.
There's no amount of heat that you can possibly pack into that.
A heat pack will not keep up with that.
No.
Well, so we kind of barely touched on the Invert Obsession at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just saying that it started as Invert Obsession, but tell us how it started with Invert Obsession. Like where?
Well, Invert Obsession started with the founder, David, in his basement, like what Alex pointed out, with his fish tank and his cherry shrimp. And he got so efficient at breeding those shrimp is when he learned that I cannot keep up with the demand. So that's when looking outward as to like imports and other local producers to be able to have the quantities necessary to be able to fill all the orders out there. And so, and it just didn't stop there. He was successful in Silhoussi cardinal shrimp before I even knew people were successful with Silhoussi cardinal shrimp, let alone bringing them in alive and having them acclimate and thrive.
Right.
So, and the original name of the company was Invert Obsession, and it's all our foundation, even as Aquatic Arts, always has been looking at crabs and crays and shrimps and snails because in the water column, all those things are very important, and especially in wanting to keep a balanced community tank. You have these little worker bees and things at the bottom and around that help support, which could be your passion of whatever fish or bottom dwellers that you put in the water column as your ta-da, your forefront, or the reason of your taupe, or just the aesthetic you're going for. Just maybe you might like guppies and that's your thing, and it just happens to be that everyone else lives in the tank with them. But the obsession came from is that seeing where these things are coming from and how they're brought into the trade.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are coming from rivers and streams, and we're always thinking of this one: what's the sustainability for these in the wild? Like,
Right.
are we able to sustain the populations or move or produce them in a way which will keep them out where you can go and visit them in the wild, but yet we're able to have as many as a couple thousand in your tank without hurting anything.
Right. Um, let's see. I want to let Liquid Rock, I have your question highlighted. We're going to touch on that when we come back from break. So I don't want to get into that just yet, but I do have your question highlighted, so we will come back to it. Alex said, we also just discovered 23 new species of dwarf crabs in India this summer. So be on the lookout for new semi-aquatic, aquatics, and micro crabs. Also new snails entering the hobby. Wow. Now, you guys are also really known for, speaking of, all those little bitty crabs.
Yes. We have been for a while probably your better source to get any of like vampire crabs.
I have never seen them anywhere else until we seen them at Aquashella, and y'all sold out at that one, I believe. You just see them and you got to have them.
Yeah, they're cute. When people look and purchase any of those type of crabs, you learn about how little they might have known about about the crab before they brought it home. Because if you look on your blogs and all these feeds, and they're like, my crab tries to escape, he's always out of the water, and I just want to be like, could you stop drowning him? He doesn't want to be fully submerged. He doesn't swim on the bottom.
Right.
Google a picture, just learn about where they're from and how they
Do
live.
your research.
Yeah, and how could you actually create that into an environment that will make them happy? And
Annette, Mystery Snail Guardian, says it took forever to get Aquatic Arts to label the Mystery Snail color morphs right on the website. Not sure.
Now there's standard names for all these different snails. There's two things you look at: the color of the shell and the body color, because the color of the body, yeah. So like the body of the color in the shell can give a different aesthetic when you look at the shell from the outside. Like what I always knew as albino mystery snail. The internet says, well, no, they're chestnut albino. I'm like, well, where do you get that from? I'm like, well, you're pairing the fact that it's albino in the sense of the red eyes, but the shell is brown or chestnut.
Yeah.
So they're plugging his house with the outside inside.
Okay.
I know like with magenta is another one that a lot of times,
So
you
like
can
it would
try
be
to,
like magenta with this color foot, or like
well, it's
chestnut
what,
with this color foot.
yeah, well, I mean, that's just how the coloration looks. Like you look at what they call purple, and it's a dark foot with the magenta color shell, and when you look at it together, you can see the color purple.
Yep.
You see it through the inhabitant.
Right.
But yeah, it's
That
um,
I would imagine that would be hard to classify anyway, because as not just like the scientific word, but
mhm.
as a general word that everybody could get on the same page with, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, because so look, like one that a lot of people ask about are the black mystery snails.
okay.
And again, people are like, well, it's not black enough, or it's not the black I was looking for. And I'm like, it's the same as you're grading your cherry shrimp, or is it red enough? It's not. Is it different color red? Does it have too much blue in it?
Yeah.
So we stick to the names that were given by the farms, and the descriptions of what we have on our site match to what the internet knows of these things. And so, just so we're all on the same page, we like to just stay within the same common name, so no one gets confused or feel as if they didn't get what they were ordering.
Right. Blue is one also that I feel like is very um, has a lot of discrepancy with it. What I think is blue or should be blue doesn't look blue.
So back to what I said about the word blue in fresh water isn't really like holding a crayon, or having it matched to something
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. Yep. Hmm.
But mystery snails are fun. That's one of my
Sure.
activities I like to play with. In the morning, I like to go out there and give them their broccoli.
Right.
They like it. You might not like your broccoli, so just take it off your
Right.
plate, put it in a napkin, and sneak it into your snail tank.
Now, along with the shrimp, like the neos and the caradinas, you guys are also doing like CPOs and stuff, right?
Yes, we do have a lot of little baby crayfish, and producing them at first was kind of tough because it was getting them to go from the fry stage up to a sellable size in a timely manner that didn't take 6 to 8 months,
Uh-huh.
considering that just by nature they're really tiny anyway. So it's what size could we rear them up to where we feel confident that it's going to be able to survive on its own without having to stress about too many other predators in the tank, or being able to pair it into or put into an existing water column that the inhabitants wouldn't harm or hurt it. So
So
but
what would be considered like sellable size?
so for
Or
those
what
guys,
size are y'all going to sell them at?
so I'm all, where's the camera at?
It's always backwards.
So we always look for those guys to be 3/4 of an inch
Okay.
before they can go out.
Okay.
That's so we know that the amount of molts that they've had to get to that size. There's no deforms or defects in them, and possibly we're able to sex them
Yeah.
before we offer them out. But we also promote the idea that you can breed these yourself, and we do have them in
Right.
breeding packs on our site.
Wow. I'm just thinking that 3/4 of an inch is still small, but y'all can sex them at that age, huh?
It's like I said, it's close,
Of course,
but
it's probably a art.
yeah, it is. But
I know I tried to, even if some that were like 4 inches and they were at my LFS, they were the blue ones and I wanted them, but I couldn't figure out what was male and female and they wouldn't be still long enough. And I finally just got fed up with it.
yeah, I always joke on that when people ask about gender on
Yeah.
on a fish. I walk over, I'm like, ooh, hello, fishy. No.
You guys also too, along with Alex's discount code, you can sign up for this awesome newsletter that these guys have. And we've gone over, it was kind of a really crazy stream because I couldn't get it out right, or clicked on the right thing or whatever. Anyway, we finally got it figured out. And they have a lot of cool and fun news articles, and if you go and join or sign up for the news article, you get 10% off as well, right, David?
Yes. You every week you get that discount code, as well as also if you want to use Alex's, he also gets his discount code every week, so you can support him during the making the same transaction. But our newsletter is a lot of fun. Pretty soon, you guys are going to see our new edition of the newsletter, which is called the Weekly Siphon, and we're going more in depth on some of these inhabitants that we maintain here at Aquatic Arts in a fun way that doesn't seem kind of overly sciencey, but an easy read and an informative way that hopefully it can inspire people to want to explore other type of fish for their tanks. But so I know you mentioned that, and this is the right stuck in my head. So when you were looking at those lobsters, so the little Mexican crayfish, they only get about not even 2 inches, like 1.6.
The CP, like the orange CPOs.
The guy behind you, yeah. So I mean, they're tiny. So
it's
when
a little bit bigger than a Neo, but bigger.
Yeah. So they're slow growers. Yeah, I mean they're slow growers, and even at that size, they're hardy enough, and they're able to hold their own in a safe environment.
Right.
For the little guys.
Yeah. Let's see. Alex says, does anyone know why mystery snails turn turquoise on their shell when they have an injury or a crack? Turquoise.
Now, I've not seen the turquoise on the mystery snail. I know our trapdoor snails that we carry do have that turquoise coloration on the end, kind of not so much turquoise, but reminds you of what, like oxidized copper.
Yeah.
And a lot of that just comes through also from the exposure to bright light or outdoor pond growth.
Really? I haven't seen it.
I'm thinking if you go to our site, let's see, you can see an image of what that looks like.
Okay. Well, let's see. You can share it, and then I can pull it up on panel here if you want.
Now, not only just do we do the mystery snails, and I just mentioned out the Japanese trapdoor, but spike snails are really big with us, and we've been able to do really well in maintaining, and in some cases producing
spike snails.
Spike snails. Spike.
Okay.
Like pokey.
Okay.
We do like the Malaysian trumpets. Is a really good one that we've been able to, offer up on our site. The tiger spikes do really well. But the other big thing that people come to us for is our assortment of nearite snails. And all the
nearite
snails, yeah. And Aquatic Arts has been bringing in nearites from probably the very beginning, back 2016, when that became really big with them. And the reason why people still actively talk about having nearite snails is because, one, there's still a utility for the tank. They're helping manage some of the algae, but I still like to put out there, it's not their job, it's what they eat. So you're still gonna have to roll up your sleeve and take care of bulk of it, but
right.
But they don't reproduce in fresh water. So it's a safe snail to have in your planted environment because you know they're not going to overrun your tank at any point because they do breed brackets.
Greg, just to answer your question, yes, I did get that. That. Oh my goodness, somebody's being rude. Turn off. Okay, sorry. I did get the gift card, and I did use it when I got it from Aquatic Arts. Alex says Devil's Spike or I don't know how to.
Cappuccino?
Yes. Mocha snails are all the same thing, just different colors and names.
Yes. So again, it's another item that you can hold up and everyone can debate on what's it more closer to. But to me, honestly, as long as the snail is healthy and he has growth, he's a good pet.
Yeah. Nerites are one of the only animals that eat diatom or hard, dusty, aka powder-looking algae on hardscapes and the glass. So nerites.
Yes. I think some of the popular ones are just your tiger and zebra nerites. Those are the ones that you probably find at most of your, if not all your LFSs. But people like the different thorn. You have like the sun thorn, the 3-color or tricolor thorn, which are a lot smaller. So, you can keep a lot more of them in a smaller tank. But I mean, here's a question for you, Miss Jess.
Okay.
So our thing this year is finding out what everyone's invert obsession is. What is your invert obsession? Do you have I do.
What do
you like?
I do. My favorite are the crystal red and the crystal blacks. Those are my obsessions. Now, I have not conquered that obsession yet. I have not nailed being able to keep more than 2 alive yet. So keep working at it. But those are the ones that I love the most right now.
All right. Well, let's as a group figure out a way that we can get you started on that because I'm more than willing to help you be successful at keeping those guys.
Yeah.
To where you're going to breed them and then you're going to put them online and try to sell them back to me and to your viewers.
I do it too. Let's see.
Does anyone else out there have an invert obsession? I can't read what everyone's.
Right. I can put it. Can you read it when I put it up on screen like that? Yeah. Okay. So that's Alex. The miniature horned nerites also lay far less annoying white eggs all over than like the regular nerites.
Yeah, but they're easy to remove from the glass, and they're not gonna hatch. So
right, they have to be like saltwater to hatch, right? Yeah, or brackish or something like that. So Rob's Aqua asks, when will the inventory be restocked?
Well, inventory is being brought into the building as we speak, and we've been bringing shipments in the past couple of weeks. But just for what we like to offer up here at Aquatic Arts is making sure that an animal is well established and happy before we consider putting it back into a shipping situation that can bring stress on it again. So this weekend, there should be a lot more items offered on the website, and every week from here on out, you'll see more and more availability as we feel the animals are ready to, to be offered and sold.
Right. And that's great husbandry too. It's not just a store, but a great husbandry goes along with it. Shows you care. Not just making a buck.
Yeah. Now, has anyone posted what their favorite inverts are?
Nope. Rob's Aqua says, what about special orders?
Now, there's a lot of items that we do consider carrying, but if you in the ordering, you can actually place items for back in stock alerts. when they do become available or available from us on our site, you'll be informed of that. So you're able to go on and then, have your, purchase what you were looking for.
Alex did answer the question and I missed it. I overlooked it. He said, I'm obsessed with wild shrimp morphs, cheetahs, raccoons, green baltis, ninjas.
Ninjas are cool. We have like we're actually breeding those as well. I mean,
okay.
The quantities are there to go, but what we want to do is we always want to achieve at least a third generation on any colony before we split it and then start producing them so we can cull for sale.
Now, what color are the ninjas?
These are just the ninja bees. I guess they'd be regular or natural.
Striped?
Striped. There you go.
Let's see. Okay, so would it be like this one?
No. Let me pull it from one of our inhabitant page.
Like that one. That one's...
No, that's more wild.
Okay. Now, that one said ninja shrimp, but that's not... that's salt water. That's one of those that'll knock you out. They may not have a good picture.
I don't think we even have it on our site yet. I'm trying to see if it's... I'll make sure I have photos available for us the next time we talk.
Okay. Mystery snail eggs are the easiest snail eggs to remove. Just remove them from the glass above, the water line, and if you want to have babies, if you want to have mystery snail babies, lower your water like 3 inches from the top, and they'll go up and they'll lay their eggs. But the egg units or whatever have to stay humid to be able to hatch. They won't hatch if they dry out. So,
and the viability rate on those is still pretty high for the amount of eggs that they produce. But it takes time for those guys to grow.
Yeah.
But make sure that you have calcium in your water column, which will help their shell growth.
Also, when you request alerts on out-of-stock items, it helps let them decide what to order.
It does. It pushes a demand, and that demand will be heard, and we'll do our best to make sure that we can get you guys what you're looking for.
Okay, Elaine Lockhart says, is there a reason that self-in mollies are not for sale from many sellers? I keep looking, but not finding.
Okay, well, you know what? That's very true. And the reason being on that item is a lot of people tend to look at it as so common or so basic, unfortunately, that there's not much demand. So when you do find them, you would have to reach out to more of your chain store type of store to be able to find that. I'm no name dropping on any of them, but
right,
your national chains tend to carry more of those variety of live bearers, and a lot of the guys online, I don't want to say they're too cool for school, but it's. But if you're really looking for that item, and live bearers are becoming more of a thing with us at Aquatic Arts, that self-in mollies will find their way onto our availability. That's another one that comes in a lot of different color variations.
The self-in mollies?
Yeah.
I like the self-in leertail mollies. The ones that are doubled like that. I used to raise them, but moved on. They didn't sell well, so...
I like chocolate.
Yeah?
Chocolate's my favorite.
Okay. I think that Alex has gotten me to the right ninja shrimp now.
Something like him. I'm all pointing at the screen. I'm like, that's what it looks like.
All right. They're cute.
They are, and they're small, and they could be sensitive.
Okay.
So in learning how to breed these and grow them up, we're also trying to learn ways to be able to teach that information to people so they'll be as successful with them once they find their way to their tank.
That's cool. And it's something new to start. The Nano Aquarium guy. Oh, I want those. They look cool. Going to check them out, Alex. See, it's how you get it started.
But I'm really excited about our tangerine tigers.
Yes.
Because we actually are releasing these closer to being an adult size. So
Awesome.
you're not going to get little shrimplets. They're big, they're beautiful, and have lots of color.
I have some of those. I had a really nice friend send me some of them, but I only have 2 of those left also. So I don't know what I'm doing to the water.
You're going to have to send a water sample or test your water and send it over to Alex so we can get
my water is hard. And if I don't cut it with my RO and keep up with it, and these I have in a 2.5 gallon, I need to put them in a bigger tank so I can keep up with the water qualities a lot better. That's what I need to do. So, but yeah, my water's pretty hard.
Well,
that's why the live bearers love them. Love my water.
Yeah, I love live bearers. I've never had a problem with them. They're easy breezy, my life keeping.
I've got a bunch of strains right now. I think I'm back up to 17 strains. Wow. So, yeah.
My first fish tank, because I know, Jess, when we were talking, you asked me like, how did I get into this hobby, or how to keep a tank? And it was one of those like I had to sit back and go like, oh shoot, I realized it. It all started pretty much the same way I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have, with a carnival goldfish.
Thank you. Exactly. It's how I did. It's exactly how I did it.
And when I was younger, it's probably like 6, 7 years old, when I was able to successfully keep one alive. You bring it home, there's no care guide, there's no thought into it. It's just like, here you go. And, anything that holds water, even if it's your little fish bowl, you just put it in there and you do your best. But,
right.
We know, that's not how you keep fish, and that's not how water stays balanced. So, but my grandmother saw that I was making such an attempt every time I brought these feeders home. So she set up a tank at her house and allowed me to keep the goldfish at her house. And
that's sweet.
Yeah, and we've had goldfish. I mean, some of those were like 8 or 9 years old before they passed, which still is really young in goldfish world, but pretty awesome for someone who brought a goldfish home from a carnival.
Exactly. Let's see. Alex says, Elvis, my poor, toss a penny in a shot glass goldfish. So yours was named Elvis, huh, Alex? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, you guys, it's time to take our mid-morning break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some leaves and botanicals and stuff that Aquatic Arts carries. And I'm going to show some of the bags that I got. So real quick, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Go grab you a new cup of coffee, whatever you need to do, run to the bathroom, do your thing. We'll be back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason with Javelin Aquatics. Thanks for joining me. What the heck is that noise? Do you guys hear that? What the heck is that noise?
I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd. I got 400 tanks in every room of my house. There's not a prayer in the world of me finding a spouse. I'm spilling water on the floor and all over the wall. No matter if it's carpet, I'm ruining it all. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd.
Yeah.
Fish nerd, a fish nerd. Scientific names just rolling out my mouth. I love cichlids from the north and plecos from the south. There's a whole lot of folks up in the fish fam. There's Corey and Bob and Jadron. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. Petco and Walmart, stop killing my fish. I'm tired of rescuing betas that are dying in a dish. Every employee, they just seem to be lost, selling Oscars with guppies. But at what cost? I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. It's Saturday again, heading to the fish store. I'm addicted to fish, I need more and more. I keep buying more fish, and I don't have the room. I'll put them in the bathtub, let the buying resume. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. Doing water changes all day and night. I can't get the pH where it seems just right. I do 10, 20, or 30%. So many fish, they need to pay me rent. Fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. Sucking up the watercraft going up my nose. I can't seem to stop making fish room videos. YouTube, I love you, but you ain't paying squat. Gotta keep a real job, don't like it a lot. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd.
Hey,
We are back. Thank you guys for hanging out and letting us take a little break, but we are back now. And we still have David with us, the general manager from Aquatic Arts. And we're going to kind of dive into something pretty cool. I got a little package here for Christmas, and I kind of just want to go through it. We're not going to go into depth on these things. We're going to leave that for Alex to do. And but I just want to show y'all what they've got, and you can also go on the website and have a look at them as well. I did get what you were just holding up, the Merry Christmas pullover. We are kind of warm down here in the South at the moment, so it was too hot to have on today, but I have worn it. I think last week I did wear it on the show. But so start with that. I got one of those, and I love it. It's so soft. It's great. And then we go with this Catappa Tree Botanical Pack.
Yep. Its Catappa Tree Pack is actually becoming a really popular item with us. So everyone out in the market and looking for, a basic botanical for tannins as well as biofilm, all read about almond leaves. Well,
right.
There's a lot more to that tree that can benefit your water column, much like the bark, and as well as the actual fruit. You should see.
Wow. That's awesome. I can't wait to get into using them. Let's see. The next one this one's pretty cool. The Aquatic Arts Vampire Crab Botanical Pack.
Yeah, the Vampire
Crab. Morning leaves. Oh, morning leaves. Cool. No, how do you say that? Morning. Yeah, there we go. See, I butchered words. But there's that one for the vampire crabs. So if you got them, you'll want this. I got an Aquatic Arts starter fish pack.
Yeah, we have a sample of three of our types of fish flakes that we offer.
And that's awesome because I got lots of babies. And then a Aquatic Arts Botanical Combo Pack.
The Botanical Combo Pack is actually a really good starter pack if anyone wants to get into the world of putting natural leaf litter into your water column for tannin as well as microfungal purposes. And what people in our in the invert world have learned is a really great surface to grow biofilm, which is, you know, what most inverts like to graze upon throughout the day.
Definitely. Everybody, they know me. Alex is spelling it out for me, and then Patty says English is just a second language, so everybody be kind. All right, we've got another one here. We've got the crayfish breeder pack. This one I think is my favorite. I don't know what they're called, but I love these.
That's a coconut.
Coconut. That's a coconut.
Yeah.
It's a coconut hut?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it has a little home in there so they can go and see into.
There's the hole. Coconut huts. You can grow moss on those suckers.
Mm-hmm. And it's really good for biofilm.
Oh, and this one's got holes in the top of it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Man, those are great for shrimp. They can
but there's also like jawwood in there, which is really good for them.
Yep.
And let's see what else.
With the cinnamon, are those cinnamon sticks or something?
No, that's the top bark.
The bark.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when it comes to those guys, you want to have something a little heavier in the water column because they are destructive, just like you pointed out that people, you know, when they first put them into tanks, don't realize that they will uproot everything as they learn to be happy in their surroundings. So you don't want to have anything that's easy to float or break away or break up in your water column too quickly. But there's also in that pack, I believe, a coconut flower.
Ooh. Yeah, I see it. I do see it. It's right here on the side.
Isn't it pretty?
It is. It's neat. It's different.
I've actually taken those and wrapped them. Yeah, I've actually wrapped moss on them and planted them in my display as like a little flower bed.
Oh, cool.
And when they're wet, they kind of have this like I don't know, like oak color.
Yeah.
Or like a cherry oak when they're wet.
Yeah.
And they don't and like, you know, like on most leaf litter, it's it takes a long time for it to break up into your water column. So you don't need to replenish it so frequently.
Yeah.
So it makes it a really good anchor for being able to tie plants too, because it will be able to weigh it down and stay down.
Alex said he's done videos on the jackfruit, the cinnamon, and the moringa leaves and several other botanicals. If you want, there are 20 minutes of info on the chemistry. Yes, you guys know to go check Alex out for all kinds of info. All kinds of info. Okay, Victoria. Everyone wake up with the squirrels. I don't know what that is. That's not the one I was looking for. She said something about their packets with all different things in them are good when you buy them like this.
And
I love bundles. That's the word.
Bundles I love. Combos I'm excited about. And you know, not just the bundles that you're looking at right now. You know, this is our botanical groupings. But we also have a lot of these paired up with species as combo boxes, where we not only, you know, you purchase the inhabitant, the shrimp, the crayfish, or vampire crab, but it also comes with a moss portion, as well as the botanical pack, and what you pointed out was the food sample pack. I wish I had my desk. I just have the big jars that we sell the full size. In your pack, you probably have the shrimp
Yeah.
Sample pack.
Yeah. I have the snail and the shrimp.
That is probably one of the more popular items that we offer on our site when it comes to the combo. Our snail pack does really well. Why our shrimp combo pack is a good start to having enough of other items to offer your shrimp and allow them to thrive and be happy. We have our snowflake food, which is really good. We do have our staple shrimp food, which we call it our stinking pellet. And a really popular item in that pack is the bee pollen.
I was looking for I have the snow, the snow food somewhere.
Yeah, the snowflake.
Yes, I have it somewhere. I've been using it. Oh, I took it to the shrimp in the other room. Darn it. I was going to show it.
It's actually made of soybean hulls. And
okay.
It's enriched with amino acids, trace elements, fiber, and other beneficial ingredients for them. Now, these, a lot of times when people look at the different prepared food and menu items for shrimp, it's a part of its diet, but it's truly not what it eats upon all day. So that's why we found it important that people are starting to use botanicals in their tanks. So it gives more surface area for biofilm to produce and what they would, are really going to eat on. Because a lot of food products, if you see the portion of what you feed, like say 5 or 6 shrimp, you're pretty much holding in your hand a year plus supply of possible food if fed properly, and you're giving every all the other supplemental.
I can see that. Can definitely see that.
And that's on our site. It's $10, $9.99.
That's not bad.
All that, and if
you that alone,
yeah, and we and our dry goods, we do free shipping.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Alex said, be careful with the alder cones. They do drop the pH like crazy, gram for gram, compared to the leaves or the wood. So I guess if you use the alder cones, you would want to do a lot of water changes right off the bat to keep your water parameters in check.
That would be based upon the volume of water.
Okay.
You have as well. The portion that you get in there is what we call shake, which is the smaller alders. We do sell the larger cones in packs if people want larger ones. But I would say in a 10-gallon tank, I would put no more than like maybe 3 to 4 alder cones.
Okay.
And that won't do anything that's going to change the parameters that much. Over time, you'll see like a gradual like dip. But just go at it slowly with anything that you put in your water column. Just don't dump it in and just see what happens. Introduce it and, put in a leaf. Put in wait a couple of weeks and see what happens. If anything changes, and then you can continue to incorporate more.
Right. Well, Too Coolie for Schoolie says, man, I wish I had a store like this in Canada. Do you guys ship to Canada yet?
No, everything is domestic. The thing with anyone shipping anything from the United States to Canada, it's either one, done right, which is really expensive, and 2, it's probably not being done above the table. So, yeah, everything that we ship is here in the Intercontinental.
And then,
unfortunately, it just different countries have different regulations and different rules about what's brought in, and it's their right to know what is being, bought and sold across border lines.
Too Cool for Schoolie, you're gonna have to come down to one of the events they're at, and then just take it back home with you.
Hey, so just quick, my purchaser just walked by the office, and he's been standing outside the door, and he just wants to check in and say hi. But I just want to introduce you guys to Eric Kelly.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What part do you do with the Aquatic Arts?
I do the purchasing, so I bring all the livestock in for us.
Ooh, that's a fun job. That would be fun.
I get to shop for fish all day.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you got all the hookups too.
Something like that.
Right, right. Well, how long have you been there?
I've been here for about 3 years now.
Yeah?
3 years. Yeah. Great place to work. I love it.
Let's see. Mystery Snow Guardians is asking real quick, is Aquatic Arts going to be a vendor at the Keystone Clash this year?
Where is that?
Keystone Clash is in Pennsylvania, I believe. And I don't think it's until like September or November. It's the later part of 2023. So
I'm planning on it, but I'm writing that one down.
yeah, I can give you more information on it. My answer was it's too early to tell. I don't know yet. Let's see. Let's see.
Now, Eric here will be. You know what? Let me ask you. What's your Invert Obsession? Because I mean, I know you keep a lot of fun stuff in the shrimp room.
Yes. I do like shrimp, but I'm a really big fan of the Carax crayfish. That would probably be my Invert Obsession. There's just so many different cool types and species coming out with just insane colors on them that any type of Carax, particularly the blue claw zebra, that's probably my favorite, but there's a ton of cool ones coming out.
Is that on the website at all?
Yep.
Yes.
We have a few on there right now. We're going to be bringing some more in probably over the next couple months.
Okay, so like I'm trying to find one so I can show. Okay, I found one. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's pretty. Okay, let me show it here. Present. Here we go. One like that, the Thunderbolt, the Carax
The
culture.
Thunderbolt is actually the most popular type of Carax right now.
Look at that.
Beautiful colorations on them. They are illegal in a few states, Florida being one that comes to mind. I want to say Michigan as well. There's a few. So if anyone out there is looking for Carax, just make sure to check with your local laws and check on our listings as well. They'll say whether that's outlawed in your state or not.
Wow. I hope Louisiana ain't one of them because that is that's a pretty one. I wouldn't mind having one of them. That's for sure. Yeah. Oh, Alex says illegal in Washington.
Illegal in Washington. There you go.
Can they live through y'all's cold winters, Alex? I mean, I wouldn't think if they couldn't live through the winter, they would be illegal. But who knows? I don't make those laws.
Yeah, I have the same question about Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, they don't.
That's right. Well, let's see. There's more than just this one.
Oh yeah.
Do you see the zebra?
The blue zebra are pretty neat.
Yeah.
That one is cool. That one right there. Yep. The blue claw.
Yep. I think we've got a couple of those actually in stock right now.
That one's pretty cool too. That's pretty color.
The Thunderbolt that you just pulled up, we have juveniles available of those. The pictures don't look quite as good, but once they get to that adult size, they're beautiful.
And okay, so people, be open-minded to having a tank-bred juvenile version of the crayfish, just because of all the headaches that we did talk about earlier about when you put it in the water column. He's going to start tearing up your tank, moving plants around, trying to make home. Where the little guy is a little more able to adapt and find himself something in the tank without having to move stuff around.
Okay.
It's cute to grow stuff, Who wants just the adult? You want to be able to raise it up and get it to the size to where it's able to produce.
Yeah. And the good thing about these juvenile Thunderbolts here is that they're actually bred here in the USA. A lot of Carax, even some that we carry, aren't bred in the USA. So these USA bred ones, they're really adapted well to the water and they do a lot better. and they'll have a good shot of breeding in the tank breed as well.
Now, do you guys say that these are, oh, I see right there, these are tank bred, and then the ones that are imported or bought from, okay, if they're bought from, like, say me, say I'm breeding them, and then you guys buy them off me, that's considered tank bred, right?
That would be USA bred right there. On
USA bred.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Tank bred is you guys.
I'm sorry?
Tank bred would be you guys.
Tank bred is just bred in captivity.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then any of the juveniles that we do carry are going to be USA bred.
Okay.
We're working on
I see right there, like that one that's sold out. Let's see. It says bred by Aquatic Arts.
Yep.
Cool. That's good to know. And that's that CPO we were talking about.
Now, our other obsession that we've gotten into are, like I mentioned, are the snails. And Eric also has been part of the breeding project in a lot of different species that we've been playing with. What do you think right now is your most favorite one to toy
snail? I really, really like the gold spotted rabbit Sulawesi snails. The foot on those guys is just gorgeous. Really cool shell shape as well. If you could pull up a picture of those guys, those are really neat.
Which one?
The gold spotted Sulawesi snail. It'll have more of a cone shape. I don't believe they're in stock right now.
The gold colored. Well,
yeah, it'll probably be towards
They're going to be stocked on our site.
There they are.
There you go.
Right there.
The ones below those actually are the ones that I really enjoy.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me go back. These right here.
I think those are neat.
That's cool.
And all these Sulawesi snails are becoming endangered in the wild due to, a ton of different reasons, mining being the biggest probably. But we're working on a lot of these guys, trying to get them back into the hobby through captive breeding. Right.
So are these guys come from the same place as the Sulawesi shrimp?
Yep.
Okay.
And they actually do really well together in a tank.
And they need to be in, I think, high pH and really warm water?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Those are cool. I've never seen those before.
Yeah. They breed fairly easily. They just kind of grow slow and breed like one at a time. So it takes a little while, but they'll breed in captivity for sure.
So do they have live babies?
They do.
Okay. They have them like trumpet snails, but
not near the pace that trumpet.
Abundance. Okay. Definitely. Some of them have some really pointy and then prickly shells.
Yep.
Pagoda snails have become really popular with people.
Yeah, pagodas are neat. Those probably on the first page.
Okay.
We have some of those in stock as well. And
Pagoda?
they're a really good size. Yeah, I want to say they're towards the bottom of that page, maybe. Right there. Oh, sorry. They're going to be on the right-hand side. Up a little bit. Yep.
There.
Yeah, those guys are really cute.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah, these guys are really cool. We're trying to get these breeding, but not super successful so far. But they're a real neat snail.
They come in the orange and then the yellow.
Yeah, the shell is going to vary a little bit on color.
Sorry, my dog has a toy. Hey, quit, Piper. Okay. Those are neat. But those are not being in home
Yeah, we're working on them.
Or trying to breed them?
Yeah, we're working on them.
Okay. All right. Let's see. PNW Aqua is looking for something to keep with Soda Lake cichlids, like snails.
I'm not familiar with those cichlids, actually.
Okay. Liquid Rock is saying, what kind of water parameters do the Sulawesi snails require versus the shrimp? Not any difference, right? They need the same thing.
They'll do fine in the same as the shrimp. Here's the pagoda snails. They're really
okay.
neat.
Hang on, I'm gonna put you big there. Okay. Oh wow, that's a big shell.
Yep, they're big
and they're very active.
Yep.
Really? They don't just come out at night.
There's the adult, and then this is going to be a little juvie, and they still get that spike on the juveniles as well. So.
Oh yeah! Wow. Alex says Batman snails are rad too.
Yeah, Batman.
Let's see.
They're almost like a little limpet.
Let me look. I'm looking for the Batman snail. Let me go back here. Move, add. There we go. Okay. Batman.
They're down a little bit. Yep, right there. Batman nearite up one row.
Oh my gosh.
Yep,
You're
on the right row. One listing to the right.
Oh, right there. Okay. I was totally just going right over the top of them.
Yeah, those guys have a neat shape. You can see
that is different.
Yeah.
I get it. I get how they say why Batman. They look like a
limpet almost.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yes. Well, you'd find those in the lakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they look like. Do they all have those circles on them?
No. I don't know if that's eggs or some calcium buildup or something.
Okay.
But they definitely don't all have that.
Okay. That's still cool. All right. Ooh, those I really do like all the colors in the mystery snails too, though. That's just cool. Those are cool. The sunthorn nearite.
Yep, those guys are neat too.
That's different. So y'all don't breed these in house. These are imported, right?
Yeah, nearites are not going to breed in fresh water. They require salt water. So these guys are imported. But
has anybody in the States bred them?
No.
No.
We're working on a different type of nearite snail. There's actually a freshwater nearite snail out of the Middle East that we're working on bringing in, and those are actually able to breed in fresh water. So hopefully we can get those, and that would be pretty big for the hobby, we believe. People could start breeding their own nearite snails.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to introduce you guys to a co-host that is just arrived here with me. This is Eduardo, and he is a co-host with me a lot. He's part of the crew.
Good morning. Or I should say, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for being here, Eduardo.
Yeah, sorry, I had a lot to do. And I'm like, I need to get on here because I know Dave was going to be on. And I'm like,
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see. The Nano Aquarium guy is asking, will they have the... Oh, my goodness. Y'all are trying to make me say some names.
I'll read it for you. That's right. I came up to help you. Yeah. I'll read it. Yeah. The Trudeau Dalmaticus snail. There, he's only seen them in the European sites.
Yeah, I think that's that's it. That's the tiger nearite, the mini tiger.
The mini tigers. Yep.
The species, yeah. It's Theodoxis, so it's a different type, but it's in that same genus that we're working on getting. We can look for those as well, though.
But you don't have those yet.
We do not have those.
Okay.
Nano Aquarium guy has a lot of beautifully scaped bowls, and he's just fantastic. And he just told me last night he wants to enter into the Spain competition for scaping. So definitely it's something really great. Wish him the best of luck.
We saw some of those big bowls at Aquashella Chicago. They're just absolutely beautiful. I love those.
I like the idea of the low tech fish keeping. Not everything has to be some $1,000 setup with, $500-$600 filtration, when most of us has figured out for decades how to do it with a sponge filter.
Correct. And we have a lot. I mean, I think it was Depths Unknown who had the bowl challenge, and Nano actually won that one. It was quite amazing. There were some really beautiful bowls on that one as well. And again, very minimal.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive part that goes into it is the bowl itself, depending where you buy it.
Yeah. I purchased one of them from the Aquashella Chicago. It's sitting in my living room, back to me looking and staring at empty thing of glass.
Are you talking about Zen Aqua?
Yep.
From New York City.
Yeah.
Yep, Zen Aqua.
With that wood base.
Yep, Jesse interviewed him at Aquashella Orlando last year.
Sure did.
Yep, he's the one that has the beautiful stands with the wood, and he has. Oh my God, it's amazing. Zen Aqua, really great.
I'll set it up one day. I have the soil. I bought the soil. I even bought the book because I want to give Miss Wallstad her props and educating us about how to keep this type of setup. Which I looked up online, and she just celebrated her 77th birthday.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean she's the root of a lot of people's curiosity, and she was able to publish it in a way that that made it valid. So everyone else took it more serious and understanding the science behind it, which still, to me, I think is a really cool book to own on the shelf, but something hard to digest. So I'm glad that there's people out there who've been able to dumb it down or dummy it version for everyone, so we can
understand it and comprehend it and follow it pretty. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought after the first chapter I was going to have a quiz. I was like, oh shoot, I should be writing this down.
That happened. And actually, Jess and I are both teachers right now, so
yeah,
we know that very well.
Definitely.
But I think in general, the hobby is going to find itself going more towards these low setups, because I know Alex talks about it. We talk about it here. But it's like everyone always teaches about cycling your tank. This is how you have to cycle your tank. And at some point, when do you not want to run around this wheel?
Right.
Are you always trying to keep this thing doing this thing called cycle? And when are we going to achieve the goal, which is having it balanced?
Right.
Where it's actually sustaining itself. And
all you had to do is just top it off. Yeah. Right.
I believe Alex had a stream not too long ago that I saw, one of his shorts that, or one of his long shows where he actually said, to actually cycle a tank, it's not 1 or 2 months. It's longer, a lot longer. And in order, you got to, I've been doing it for 45 years. So to allow a tank to be mature enough to handle the load or the fish and all that stuff, you got to make it biotech, so it's sort of kind of like no fancy schmancy CO2 or anything like that. I'm talking about how is it in their environment. Recreate their environment in the little glass box that we have for shrimp, for snails, for whatever it is that we're going to keep. And if you keep that bio going, that ecology within that system, your fish are going to thrive. 4 things I think about. Are the fish healthy? Keeping them healthy. Are they breeding? They're eating. They're happy. They're living a lot longer than normal. I mean, how many times did we buy a betta and 2-3 months later someone said, yeah, it died? They last up to 7 years. How did you kill a betta?
Right.
But again, it's because And we go back to the old mistakes that we had made. We take the betta out, we wipe everything down, we put Clorox, oh my God. We used to do all that kind of stuff because we didn't know any better. And today is leave it alone. Remove, if you're overfeeding, do water changes. If you're overstocked, do more water changes. It's that simple. Yes, because what do we love most about everything? Simplicity, not complicated stuff. You know, where did I see it? Snails. I think it was Alex again. He's the snails that was eating. Well, I think it was the nyrate. No, I keep messing that up. Nyrite snail, right? That eat the algae. We can't really have them. They don't reproduce as quickly, or they don't reproduce. The eggs are in fresh water. They need salt water. But you want to get rid of algae? There you go.
Right.
So it's sort of like that. And I mean, I have mystery snails and ram's horns, and he was talking about the ram's horns and all that stuff. And who was it that mentioned that little old, the grandfather snail that we have tons of them?
Mystery snails?
Can't hear you.
Pond snails?
Pond snails, yes. And it's sort of like everything that we use, if we make it simple, we just break it down. Yes, it's not about all the chemicals in the world. Yes, if you live in the city, you got to do whatever you can. I'm down in the country and I got water. I got well water. So I got I got everything is good. It's not hard. It's okay. I'm down in Florida, by the way, Southwest.
Well, and so we can breed cichlids in a trash can.
That's right. Exactly. So there's a lot of complications that people add to it. Not necessarily bad, but if you want to keep something pristine, you got to add what it is that you want. I mean, the plants. When you have we have Kelly Foreman and Stephen P, who are constantly, they have a channel about Wet Your Plants. That it's all about how to keep plants gorgeous. And we have Kirk, Fishy Man, who also has a fantastic tank with amazing plants in them. But you're not looking at that's not me.
Right.
That's not me. I mean, mine are like, I put a little bit, like maybe that much of guppy grass in one of my shrimp tanks. Now all I have is a guppy grass tank because it just took over. And of course, now when you look at it, all the shrimps, you spot them because they're on top of it. And so they're visual. So I think as long as they're happy and they're multiplying, we're good to go.
Yeah. So Alex says, under the microscope.
We're focusing on is getting people to, we're focusing on getting people to look at keeping fish more natural and, stop going to your store and, being sold, all these different bottles of chemicals or even worse, snake oil, and if not dosed properly and you don't follow everything to the T, you could be harming your bioload and pretty much setting yourself back.
Right. So Alex says, under the microscope, it appears 3 years is max diversity in a tank: bacterial, fungal, archaea, algae, and microorganisms.
Yeah.
Poetic Song says, well, what happens after 3 years goes by? You got your seasoned tank, I guess.
Well, I think that is the goal. Once you have a seasoned tank, almost, and if you properly follow your own rule, which is you're going to get new fish, okay, quarantine them before you put them in there. Don't do the mistake. Oh, the tank is perfect, and then you put in a sick fish and kill everything. Again, it's sort of like the cycling, like you were saying, David. The cycle. Oh, we have to cycle tank. I'm like, quickest way I know to cycle the tank if I need to do an emergency tank is pull out a sponge filter from another tank, grab some gravel from that tank, grab whatever plants that I have in that tank, put it in the quarantine tank, filter it real quick before you do anything else. And I like doing cycling tanks with fish in them. And I've been very, very fortunate. I've had some tragedies, but not great tragedies. But the best way to do that is use what you have and try to cut down on all of the nothing wrong with using, like I said, if I lived in the city, 90% of the time I would be using chemicals because of the water that comes in through the pipes from the city, because you never know what they're doing, changing it all the time. Yes, Jess.
Well, that's just, you need to test your water more if you know they're doing that. Back to botanicals real quick, because I had told Liquid Rock that we would go back and answer this question. He said, which botanicals are the most beneficial for specific colors?
In shrimps?
Yeah, we were talking
about tannins in the water. Like, are you trying to achieve just the microbial part with the biofilm, or are you trying to go black water with it, right?
I think that they were more like with them eating them, what like would a almond leaf bring out more red in a neo red shrimp, or would a pod bring out more orange in a orange
I mean, I don't have the
answer
for that directly, but I can say any of the shrimp or any of the inverts that have a balanced diet will tend to have the best coloration. I mean, a lot of food and like especially algae can influence the color of the shell, like a vampire shrimp, where they eat a lot of blue and green algae, so their shell will reflect it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it will color enhance. But what it will do is it will make it easier for them to molt. And for that, a happy shrimp is a healthy shrimp.
Right. Let's see. Terry says, I don't think biofilms from botanicals are pigment specific.
There you go.
Right.
Correct.
That's a good,
Well, I think that,
Alex,
and
need an episode on that, Alex.
Yeah. I think David and Alex that's in chat can say, but I think if we keep the proper pH and KH within the tank, that is what helps coloration, and obviously the environment you keep the fish in. Because I don't think that there's anything in particular that's going to bust out color if it's not the way you breed them. I mean, in other words, if you put 5 different color shrimps in a tank and you expect them to be all blue or all red or no, they're going to be coming up brown, because if they intermix, the color, the dominant color will be brown. So if you have them separately,
that the orange or the red, Alex did have a show on this with live bears, that I don't remember what it was, but the orange I don't remember. No, he'll say it in a minute, but it's what they eat. If it's orange, it will help bring out the color.
Beta carotene.
Yes.
Out the carrots. Yeah, they do that with like birds.
Yeah.
Carotenoids. Yeah. He called it carotenoids.
Carotenoids. Yes. Mapani wood and alder cones bring out colorful tannins. Then almond leaves, cinnamon, and the jackfruit and the oak and etc. So they bring out the tannins in the water, but not necessarily would change
on the
color of
not
the
on the shrimp itself. Right.
Yeah,
that was an excellent question.
Do really well for growing that biofilm, and they do take a while before they break down into water columns, so you don't have to replenish it as often. And it doesn't. Correct. I know a lot of people don't like that extra botanical floating around in their tank of dead leaf matter or whatnot. So I would go with something like that if you want to achieve and still keep it without like saying like mulberry leaf, which will just go everywhere really quick.
Right.
Any leaf
that turns to run real quick. I got some stuff to take care of in the warehouse.
Well, sure,
yeah, you got a shipment to go take.
And
a shipment to go there,
right? It was nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you. Freshwater theology just said algae and bacteria tend to be the origins. Reds can have strong influence from dietary origins. I can't see the word very well, but it's astaxanthin is a popular one in dry feeds. So again, what you feed them can also help. But I also believe that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when we're breeding a type of fish, let's say my Laritail vampire swordtails, sometimes the males and females can't breed because they've been overbred overseas. And I've been lucky, or I was lucky, that I had a frog come in and eat some of my fry a while back. And so, but I forgot that I had them in another tank, and I have now a trio, one male and two females, and both females are pregnant, and they're the third generation. So something about how you keep, and again, talking about tannins.
Yeah.
You can't see in that tank. It's full of tannins because I have the Amano shrimp in there and I have them in there. And I don't care to have that. Oh, look at the pretty fish. What a great tank. I don't care about that. As long as the fish is healthy and they're breeding, I'm doing it right. So, and then I have the one surviving female. She's in the other tank, what I showed you yesterday, Jesse. And, she's just giving birth and she has no males in there. So what I did, I read up on them and I said, so let me get the bright red or the super red swordtail males. I got 3 of them, threw them in there. Sure enough, that because the vampire have the red eyes, the vampire swordtails, the Laritail. So I want to keep that going. But if I get 2 or 3 red eyes, we're good. And then the rest, and they're so beautiful. So that's really where I want to go with it. And I think the way we feed them, I feed, the aquatic. Do you sell Basileir, Dr. Basileir? No. Which one?
They have their own
that
food.
You sell out? You have your own food. That's right. Yes, that's right. Yes.
I mean, we do carry Cats Aquatics.
That's right. Yeah, Cats from New York City.
I've had Cat on the show as well.
Yep.
And we're also big fans of Shrimp Envy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Both
tried
you mean these guys?
Right?
Yeah,
that's what I have. Tons of them.
Sold on our website, especially if it's food, it's because we've used it here, we use it here, and we feel as if we sell the item to you and you carry that over, then the transition should be a lot easier for the inhabitant.
Once you've proven that it works in your tank, you
have
backup. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's what I say. It's the same thing. Once I've tried so much, and what works is what I go by. Yes, Jess, you were going to say.
Well, we're getting near the end of the show. We've got less than 10 minutes left.
Wow.
I did want to make sure that we put out there that Alex does have my favorite stream of the year today, where he goes through and he does the predictions for this year and the trends for the 2023, the upcoming year. So make sure that you have it, notified that you definitely watch that stream. It's definitely a need to, and you'll enjoy the heck out of it. That's for sure. Also, real quick, I need to give some thanks to
shout outs.
Yeah, I need to do my well, shoot, I can't get it.
Whip sent you one?
Yes, but first I should have played it at the beginning, but I didn't. So here's our coffee. You guys.
Okay.
Yes.
I know you guys want to go out. Come on. Go do your thing. Hey, glad you're here. The coffee's almost ready. Come on. Mr. Still Bodies. for making these clips for me to use in this video. There's always more room around the table for another friend to have a cup of coffee. If you want to join us, send an email to theaquaticmorningshow@gmail.com. Okay? So to spell.
Yes. If you're interested in becoming a Coffee Cup sponsor, just email me at theaquaticmorningshow@gmail.com. It is people like you that definitely help this show continue to grow and be here when I can, that's for sure. And I did have a $3, was it $3 super chat from Whip as he was leaving. Yes, Whip, thank you very much.
Yesterday as well. So
I've already done that one though. So
yes, I know.
Here's your dance. So thank you again, Webb. All right.
Just
David.
really quick. Yes, before we say goodbye, I want to just to say I think John is going next.
Yes.
He's going to go next, and I believe I have a stream. Don't know if I might have to change it because I have to go over to the pharmacy. I have to go get my thingy shot.
Well,
and so that's
they can check fishfam.link if
that's right.
to check up and see who's going live for sure. David, what would you like to end with?
Well, I'd just like you guys to know that Aquatic Arts is doing its best and promoting all good for the industry. And we're focusing heavily on breeding a lot of what we can sell because we think it's important that for us to keep a lot of these species around for the future. It's our responsibility to do that for us in the trade, as well as go to our website and sign up for the newsletter.
Yes.
Like Jess mentioned, we like to be fun with it. And I believe like our last week article was another fish roadies.
Yep.
It was
exactly.
80. Was this time around? And,
yeah, fish roadies it's the one for this one.
And just look out for all the good things coming this year. Again, we're celebrating the idea of we are invert obsessed, and we recognize and we want to celebrate everyone else who shares the same passion for shrimp, snails, crays, and all the other fun little things that we can have in a rotor column.
That's
Definitely.
right. So invert obsession, you guys. Most of us are getting it, and we definitely have the itch. So let's just keep rolling with it.
And do our best, everyone, to teach each other on how to keep it natural.
That's right. That is correct. Well, David, I thank you so much for being here, and we're going to do this again and get more in depth on a few more episodes down the line for sure. But for today, that's what we have for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. So check back with us Monday. We will be back with, who knows, maybe a new speaker or maybe just the crew. So see you guys Monday. Eduardo, thanks for helping me out when you can.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye, chat. Thank you, Lori, for all the spams.